Migrating into a kingdom that isn't expecting you is a dangerous proposition, and here you're going to watch a 170 million power player get rallied down by 7 rallies at the same time because they were an unknown entity. They migrated in, they weren't expected, they didn't respond, and so here come the rallies. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, a sponsored content creator for Rise of Kingdoms, and today we're watching Dark Chocolate, a 171 million power player with 103 million kills. They are going to be rallied down, oh boy, by 7 rallies at the same time. If you like Rise of Kingdoms guides, they help you get value and smash your enemies, then hey, do me a favor and consider smashing that subscribe button for daily Rise of Kingdoms videos. This is honestly incredible to watch. But more impressive, perhaps, is the story behind why this is even happening and the Kingdom 2070 as a whole. Because 2070, that's where this is taking place, is a very young kingdom. So how is it that they have so many active players and are attracting so many high-power players, including ones that just want to join the kingdom even without checking in first to make sure that it's okay? So let's start by talking about why it is they're zeroing this player. They migrated in, and they weren't on the list. But not only that, they waited 24 hours to see if this player would respond. They didn't. And so the kingdom decided, you know what? We can't afford to have high-power players that aren't going to contribute. We can't afford to have players that are high-power, low deaths, and low kills compared to the players that we want to bring in. So we're going to zero them. This player has only 6 million dead troops. And when I talked to the kingdom leadership, they said, look, we got much more impressive players that are on their way in here. So we need to talk for just a moment about this kingdom, 2070, who is rallying this player down. By the way, they took like 30 million power off that player with the 7 rallies at the same time, and we will have some rally reports at the end of this video. This kingdom was started from a jumper group, and they knew going in they wanted to be a warrior kingdom. They knew going in they wanted to have 10 war alliances. Which is why it's not so surprising that you see, oh, okay, they've got 7 rallies from 7 different alliances. That's a lot easier to do when you actually have that many players in your kingdom, 10 alliances worth of players. And they may not be there yet, but they're well on their way to be able to field 7 full rallies that are reinforced at the same time. It's quite impressive. And most older kingdoms, for perspective, that are even very large, have only 2 to 4 truly active alliances. I mean, in Kingdom 75, which we benefit from having a lot of players that come into our kingdom every single KVK, and we have continuous growth, we've still only got 6 full 100% active alliances at this time anyways. So the fact that they are pushing their way toward 10 here is extremely impressive. And so that gives them a lot of capability to regulate. Like, hey, any one player not following the rules, now they're down to 133 million power. Ouch. Oh my gosh. This is so savage. This player also now at about 8 million total dead troops. So you're going to watch that go. That count is going to go way up over the course of this video. The thing that's really impressive also about what 2070 is doing is they said, okay, we want to control the rate at which we go into an Imperium, and we don't necessarily want to jump into Imperium right away with like just high power players. We want to have the right kind of high power players. So they were looking for players that were really high kills, really high deaths. And they were expressing that based on their calculations and when they're going to hit Imperium, a player like this, who's 171 million power, being in their kingdom, is actually going to end up blocking them from taking in another planned migrant that is 100 million power with 35 million dead troops, which seems insane to me. So yeah, this kingdom is very closely managing their migration, which is why they're not going to allow someone to come in and kind of mess that up. And I get it. These days, I mean, it's kind of weird. I have mixed feelings about the needs to kind of regulate the players that are in your kingdom and to honestly like force the players that are not contributors to either leave the kingdom or zero them or delete troops or whatever. Now Dark Chocolate down to 117 million power. They got over 9 million dead troops. The fun continues. I asked the kingdom, How is it that they are so coordinated with these rallies? Because if you've ever tried to multi-rally a city before, you know that this is not easy, especially when you're trying to move quickly, which you have to move quickly or your target will bubble. You have a limited amount of time. And what they said is that they do basically the standard stuff, but coordinate it well. They use what's called a timer march to join each of these rallies. So the way that you do this is you have a march join the rally from really, really far away, and you kick that march out of the rally when you're ready for the rally to actually launch, and then boom, it will leave your city. So they teleport the tank march right next to, at the actual most close spot to their target, and they have that rally launch first, and then they kick all of the timer marches out of all the other rallies so that they always will be later than when your desired tank rally hits first. And they are using a more tanky rally to hit first. That's the rally that is going to be taking the normal attack and counterattack damage. And by the way, you can see, in fact, this player is bubbled up. They ran out of time to continue this zeroing. I mean, they absolutely would have taken this player all the way down. And when I was chatting with their kingdom leadership, and by the way, a huge thank you to ABdaBeast, Troll, and others for answering the questions that I had and providing the battle reports that we're going to look at in just a second. This kingdom, I mean, their leadership is impressive. They're executing against their plan really well. And they indicated, by the way, this player, Dark Chocolate, now down to 105 million power, that their strategy for the pairs that they used here was to bring the highest amounts of skill damage possible so that they could chunk down the health of the city very quickly to minimize their losses. That was their strategy. So we'll go in and get a look at these reports and get a sense of what that looks like now. Okay, here we are. We're going to get a look at these reports, and obviously there are a lot of them, so we don't have to look at every single report, but yeah, we got a ton of these here to go and get a peek at. So first rally we'll look at is an Alexander the Great Richard I. This is a rally that lost 76,000 to the 166,000 of Dark Chocolate, and the power differential here is truly stupendous. I mean, this is very much in your favor. The rally is losing a lot of T4s, and the garrison is losing probably a lot of T5s here. Also, at the time that this rally hit, we look at the composition of the garrison, or the city's defense, and it looks like they are stacked on T5, which they should be. They have very few siege, which is how that should be. Very solid garrison, quite frankly. Very little T4. Wow. So when they're losing troops, I mean, it's basically all T5, which is fairly outrageous. Here we see that they've lost more power, so this must be a subsequent rally here. 125,000 dead for the rally and 270,000 dead for the garrison. So we can see, I mean, this is clearly a working strategy. The trade here is exceptionally positive. The next one, thank you for providing these in sequence, by the way. They're down to 105,000 dead and then 244,000 dead for the city. Oh my gosh. The power differential here, I mean, it's like 4-to-1 trades, which is really quite impressive. We look at the next one here. Same sort of a story. 77,000 dead to the 185,000 dead. We look at the troop buffs here. These are all expertise commanders for what it's worth. Impressive, however, that the stats are a lot better. I mean, a lot better for the rally here. And if I had to guess, two things are going on. One is this player is not in a alliance. Alliance tech goes a very long way, folks. And the next thing I'll say is that perhaps they don't have their equipment on their Charles Martel. I mean, if you're not expecting to get rallied, why would you have your best equipment on your garrison captain? I don't. Most people don't. But most people don't have a backup set either. I mean, I literally put my junkiest gear that I'm not using anywhere else on my garrison when I'm not online, personally. 72,000 dead for the attack here, and that is Con double C. Woo, almost 300,000 dead for the garrison. Savage troop buffs. Yeah, these are expertise commanders. Wild. We'll pick up the pace with which we go through these because there are so many of these reports, and I kind of am eager to see. 30,000 to 175,000. Oh my gosh. Look at the trade there. I mean, this is like a 10-to-1 trade by power. Alex Esong, a combination that you know I'm a huge fan of. Yeah, this is very impressive. Wow. Wow, this is when the city was at its weakest, however. Let's see if we can get a few more reports here that are maybe when the city's stronger. 48,000 to 237,000. Outrageous. Continuing to the next report, I think. There's so many. Hard to keep track. 48,000 to 148,000. Wow. Next up, we have an Alex and Isong again, 41,000 to 188,000. I mean, these trades are astronomically positive. They are very impressive. 197,000 to 175,000. That is a Con double C. Okay. That trade, less spectacular, but still positive. Next up is 123,000 to 197,000. I mean, can I convey to you for a moment how impressive it is that these reports are positive at all, attacking into the odds that they're attacking into? 66,000. Wow, all sixes. Okay. 666 to 236,000. Jeez. Next report is 42,000 to 169,000. So what are some of the takeaways that we get from this? And there are more reports we can even look at here. Oh my God, 87,000 to 384,000. These reports are insanely savage. Jeez. 75,000 to 271,000. Up next, and these are Edward and Tommy. Oh yeah, Edward, Tommy. That Tommy debuff is doing work in a 7x rally situation, boosting skill damage. Oh my gosh, and these are expertise, right? Yup. This is 68,000 to 184,000 dead. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is just completely bonkers. 37,000 to 225,000. Yup. Yup. These reports are spectacular. I can't stop looking. Saladin Con. Ooh, I like this. I mean, Saladin is designed for city hitting, by the way. 4th skill, where we're like, normally you can just skip this. It doesn't matter. Well, here's the one situation where it's super relevant. 31,000 to 169,000. And yes, this is expertise. Saladin Con doing its thing. Jeez. Looking to the next one. 53,000 to 193,000. To the next one, we're looking at 58,000 to 228,000 dead troops. I mean, oh my, and there's more reports. 142,000 to 208,000. Now, this trade might not look as positive at first blush, but this is one of the very first rallies on the city when the hospital was still filling up, and they still did better than 3 for 1 by power. That's outrageous. Wow. We have, oh man, Isong, Mehmed, please tell me they're expertise. Oh my God, they are. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay, 60,000 to 215,000 dead. This is still, looks like there's some sev wounds here, so the hospital must have still been filling up for that one. Looking to the next, we see 74,000 to 312. Ooh, I told you. I have been saying that Mehmed would be a beast for hitting cities, and Attila Takeda is going to kill more troops, but look at this report. This is a good one. 74,000 to 312,000. Yup. What about the next report? What do we got here? We've got 46,000 to 100,000. Oh, man. This is a Isong with Barca. That's an interesting choice. Wouldn't have expected the Barca. Hopefully they used mixed troops, but it looks like they've got all archers here. So I don't know that you're getting all the benefits you might normally get from the Barca there by doing that. Missing out on a little bit of extra damage, but it's only 10%. I guess it's not that big a deal. You could still bring the all archers. And honestly, it may make sense to just have that rally. I take it all back just for the debuff. Like when you think about the fact that there are 7 rallies hitting a city, then yeah, this War Elephants debuff is actually out of control, like fully 100% out of control, reducing the damage by 25% and the defense of the target by 25%. That's a really premium debuff. I would say that's worth having over the Mehmed. Totally. I see why they did that. That makes a lot of sense. Wow. Very impressive. And honestly, this kingdom, bringing in all these players and planning Imperium the way they have is very impressive. So at the tail end of this video, what I'll do is put in the description a couple links for you. If you wanted to migrate to Kingdom 2070, and a huge thank you again, first of all, to 2070 for notifying me that this was happening. And second of all, going through all this effort to share the reports. And third of all, answering all those questions that I had so that I could give the context. If you are looking to migrate, I know that 2070 has a lot of their spaces planned out at this point, so I'll give you 3 options. If you want to chat with 2070, the Discord information for a few of their officers will be in the pinned comment. If you wanted to go to a younger kingdom that will be experiencing the Season of Conquest for the very first time, you can join my restart in 1723. If you want to join 1075, which is my kingdom, there'll be a link in the pinned comment for our migration Discord. That'll give you the full spectrum, ranging from a very old kingdom with access to all the commanders, to a younger kingdom that's going into Heroic Anthem for the first time, to the youngest kingdom in that spectrum that is shaping up really, really well and has been purposefully built from the beginning. I mean, there's pros and cons to going any of these kingdoms, but you get the full spectrum of possibilities with those 3 listed. If you enjoyed this video, throw a like on here. I really appreciate that. It supports the video, supports the channel. It's 100% free to you. And consider subscribing for daily Rise of Kingdoms videos. We've got some fun ones planned out, so you're not going to want to miss those. Until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom. And if you're looking for more city zeroings like the last time, this kingdom zeroed another huge player. I'll have a card up in the top. It was pretty impressive.